record. I'm going to go ahead. I will start the meeting, everybody. Welcome. It is October 3rd, Thursday, 6 p.m. Cincinnati TV Toastmasters. Tonight we have two speakers, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm first going to introduce our timer of the day, and that would be Dave Delahanty.
How you doing? So I guess we're doing the table topics too, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is the timer here. For table topics, it's a 1 minute or it's 1 to 2 minutes response, and at 1 minute, the red light or the green light goes on, and then the minute and a half, the yellow light goes on, and then at 2 minutes, the red light goes on, and you got 30 seconds to wrap it up. So that's the way.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Now let's move on to our word counter grammarian, and that is Janet Castlin.
Hello, I'm your grammarian tonight, and I'm providing you a word of the day. I forgot to put it in the chat. I was sitting here and I have to find the chat.
Don't leave us in suspense. What is the word of the day, Janet?
Well, I can't seem to find the chat, so I'll just tell you that. Oops. Oh. See. Oh, I thought I logged out. Okay. The word of the day is bright. It means giving out or reflecting a lot of light, shining. Or the second definition is of a person, ideal, or remark, intelligent and quick-witted, a bright young journalist. This is an example.
I thought you were going to say a bright young Toastmaster, but it's okay. Journalist is a good example.
You can use that during the meeting. Okay.
So you didn't want to lie, so I get it. No, that's fantastic. Bright is the word of the day. And then, of course, you'll also be tracking interesting language.
Filler words and try to catch any incorrect use of grammar I'm aware of and look for some interesting words that people use in the meeting also and bring that out. And I think that's what I'll be doing as grammarian.
Fantastic. Thank you. And we're going to go right back to Janet with the second portion of our meeting, which is the impromptu speaking practice. And that is table topics. Back to you, Janet.
Okay, table topics. This one we learn to speak off the cuff. You get a question that you don't know what the question is beforehand, and you try to answer it. And it's good to treat it like a mini speech. Have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And let's see, would we fix? Is it time?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's actually time to go ahead and do the table talks. FYI, I am aware that at least Joy, maybe some other people, appear to be on a different link for some reason. So I'll see if I can get her switched over to the right. I don't know if it's anybody else or if it's just her, but
okay.
But go ahead.
All right. So I have some questions for today, and there are a multitude of different themes. So who would like to have a question first? Veronica? Okay. The first question is, do you have a gratitude list? And if you don't, what would you put on a gratitude list?
Thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master. And I would say that I have in the past, although I haven't for the past couple of months, written every day in my gratitude list. and it starts off and it's a very tiny font and it's written and it's about this big. And so it's and the thing is that if I remind myself how things are that I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for clean water. I'm grateful for hot water, hot showers, being able to wash my dishes. I'm grateful for my dog. I'm grateful for my house. I'm grateful for my neighbors. I'm grateful for the trees. I'm grateful for the rain. You get the idea, right? So when I do this every single day, it does tend to alleviate some of the stress and worry. Uh, I'm grateful that I'm not in a country where I can't be a professional female. So I'm grateful that I'm able to leave the house, go to work, and earn my own money and own my own house. And life is pretty good, and I'm grateful to be in the United States. I know, everybody has their favorite country, but mine's the US. Thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm grateful that you're all here, and you look so bright tonight. Okay, who else would like to get a question? Let's see. Dave, would you like to try? Dave? Okay. Um, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What tips would you tell a new Toastmaster?
With tips, I want to tell a new Toastmaster that believe that this would be a great starting place for you to learn how to do public speaking. From my own personal experience, I've learned quite a bit since I've been in it for, I think, 5 or 6 years, I think. And that, and probably in the workplace, it would be great if you're a younger person. It would be great because you'd be able to learn how to speak for promotions and things. But for myself, being the age I was, I come to it for personal reasons, for personal growth. So I think that's what I would tell them, and to stay. And the best thing to do with is stay with it. Don't ever give up. You got to keep moving forward if you want to make progress. Back to you, Toastmaster.
All right, thank you. And it's hopefully a safe environment to speak in. All right, and let's see. Maybe Betsy, would you like to take a question?
Okay.
Okay. What do you like most about fall and autumn?
Okay. Well, I like fall and autumn. My favorite season is summer because I love the long days. I don't really like the hot weather, but I like the long days. But in fall's kind of, you still have a lot of light, and the colors are pretty. And my birthday's in the fall, so you can't knock that. And um, I like the holidays. Thanksgiving's in the fall, and Halloween, and Flag Day, or no, it's Columbus Day. We get a holiday for Columbus Day. And Flag Day's in June, but fall. So working for the government, you get a lot of holidays, and the fall has a lot of those. So I like taking care of the leaves, but it's fun to be outdoors because the weather's kind of cool and not too hot. So there's a lot of good things about fall. And give it back to you.
Thank you, Betsy. Okay, do we have time for any more questions? Sister, do we have time for any more?
Looks like you got time for more.
Okay.
Probably well, at least one more.
Okay. Let's see. Well, Jeff, you're not a speaker tonight, so I'll ask you a question.
And I should just say Joy just joined, so
Oh, Joy too.
well,
Okay.
me and then Joy. How's that sound?
Okay. Well, Joy, we're doing table topics. And I'll ask you a question.
Now, is this one for me?
No, this is for Joy.
Okay,
We switched.
okay, I got you.
Okay. Uh, is it good to have a flexible schedule?
Oh, God flex. God bless the flexible, for they won't get bent out of shape. And I'm a little bent out of shape right now, but of course, I do believe that it's really important to have flexibility. I keep a very scheduled life, actually, and I schedule downtime, I schedule naps, I schedule some personal time so that the busyness of life doesn't just take over. So I do like to follow a schedule. I have certain things that I do every day or every week, and I have a lot of rigidity in my schedule. However, there wouldn't be time for personal phone calls and there wouldn't be time for friends if there wasn't flexibility. So I do believe that it's important to keep a rigid schedule, but it's also important to be flexible for the things that are important. So thank you for asking that, Janet, and thank you for doing table topics tonight. We all appreciate you. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Oh, and beside, you didn't hear that the word of the day is bright.
Well, I am having a bright attitude about that this very moment, as much as I can. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, we all do have busy lives. Okay, is there time for one more? Jeff, did you want to do one?
Sure, I'll do one. Since I dumped on Joy for the last one, I guess I should take this one.
Okay. Are you a confident person? And are there areas where you're confident in, or areas you'd like to be more confident in?
Wow, that's a tough one. I liked all of the other questions. They were fantastic. I was thinking about the gratitude question because I think that's one of my biggest weaknesses. Maybe this fits with the confidence question as well. I took an assessment many years ago, a personality assessment, and they ranked me in gratitude is really low. I was surprised by that. And I thought about it and I realized that it's not that I don't feel gratitude. I feel it. I just don't express it. So I think that's something that Toastmasters can help you with, becoming more confident and expressing yourself on any topic or in any situation. But that's one that's really important. And I've always thought about that assessment test. Even though I feel gratitude, that's not enough. If other people don't feel it from me, then I'm not able to express it, and it's not effective. So that's an area where I'm not very confident, and then there's other areas where I do feel confident. I always felt confident. I spent my career in IT and as a software developer, so I always felt very confident in that space. I don't know if that's the left side of the brain or the right side of the brain, the analytical side of the brain, but not as much on the creative and the personal people skills side. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, well that's a wrap on the table topic questions. And we'll give it back to our Toastmaster. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Great topics. Tips for the new Toastmaster, the gratitude list, what I like most about fall, and wow, Joy. That's got to be the quote of the day. God bless the flexible. They won't get bent out of shape. I've never heard that before. Did you come up with that on the spot? Okay.
No, I stole that. Actually, I stole that from church. They say that at church once in a while.
That is cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to interject here for real quick here, but my machine is down. I think I have to change the batteries. The lights are not. I'm switching the switch, but the lights aren't staying on for some reason.
What I would do is you just cover the two that
Okay.
with your hand and try to do that. That should work.
Okay.
And
Get that back.
fantastic electronic
Okay,
malfunctions. Well, this segues right into our next segment, which is the prepared speeches. And I know the first speech has to do with a little bit with artificial intelligence. That timing device is definitely not artificially intelligent or intelligent in any way. Our evaluator for David Ash's speech is going to be is Betsy Irvin. So Betsy, can you introduce David's speech?
David, I guess you're going to talk about AI. And
if you don't have it available, I can just go ahead and do it.
yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Okay. So tonight, David Ash, he's working on his persuasive influence. This is an elective called Researching and Presenting. The title is Upping Your Game at Prompt Engineering. David, as we all know, has worked in artificial intelligence since his university days at Stanford University. Although initially quite skeptical about prompt engineering as it rolled out over the last couple of years, David has since come to better appreciate how best to use prompt engineering to interface with AI. Today, David will talk about a few thoughts he has about how to best approach prompt engineering. Upping your game at prompt engineering, David Ash. David Ash, upping your game at prompt engineering.
Thank you. I'm Mr. Toastmaster, Madam Evaluator, club members, and guests. Yes, so I'm here to talk about prompt engineering. And as I appreciate our Toastmaster noting, I have in fact worked in AI for many years since my college days, and that has not necessarily been good for a lot of those years. AI was not especially hot for many of those years. There was not a lot going on in AI. It was something I was excited about, but there were a lot of what we might call AI winters, slow times in the AI field that were happening. I recall back in the 90s, the only opportunities were with very small startups because the big companies were just not focused, weren't thinking about AI at all. For example, one company that I worked with for 4 years in the 90s, company called, unfortunately, Brightware, of all things, there was not quite as bright light in my career as one might have hoped. So, and I was unable to get out of AI. I was kind of stuck in AI for whatever reason. So I kind of moved forward many years, and the last couple of years, prompt engineering has really emerged and maybe for about 2 years as area in AI. And I think some of you may know I was not that excited about prompt engineering at first. And to say why I was not so excited about it, maybe I need to tell you a little bit about what prompt engineering is. And to do prompt engineering, with prompt engineering, you're basically communicating with something called an LLM, a large language model. So I guess I need to say what a large language model in turn is. An LLM, it's basically a big AI tool where you're putting a vast repository of human or sometimes itself AI generated language contracts. So you may get a large corpus of text of human conversation, which you may find on the web, or you might find it in audio clips or video clips, and you throw it all into this big AI system called this LLM, and you run it through a neural network. And a neural network, in turn, is something which is intended to emulate or simulate in the best possible way the human brain. So you put all this language into this neural network, and hopefully you teach it to respond when it gets new language inputs. So it's kind of learned with all this language, and now it can respond hopefully intelligently to these new inputs. And the new inputs are the LLMs, or sorry, new inputs are the prompts to the LLM. So the question then is, how do you do these prompts? So as I say, I was a little bit skeptical of prompt engineering for quite a long time. What got me personally interested, ironically, it happened shortly after a Toastmasters meeting in Cincinnati. I came to Cincinnati to participate in a Toastmasters competition, gave a talk about mathematics, and about 3 days later, got an unexpected job offer doing prompt engineering for mathematics topics. Now, prompt engineering in mathematics is especially challenging because you might give the AI some kind of a math word problem. You might say something like, Johnny has 10 apples, and then Sue gives Johnny 5 apples. How many apples does Johnny end up with? And that's tough for AI because AI is good at adding 10 to 5 and getting 15. It can do that very easily, but it then struggles because it has to both do the math and do the human interaction at the same time of interacting with whoever is giving this prompt, and that turns out to be really difficult. So I did some of this math prompt engineering, but then I also moved into other kinds of prompt engineering where I was doing stuff not really math related, but more prompt engineering for things like video to text or audio to text, where you give you give the AI a YouTube video or the audio from a YouTube video, and you ask the AI to give a lot of details about the video. Like maybe you show it a video and you ask the AI, there's a particular aircraft in the video, and you ask the AI, what is this aircraft? What's the aircraft at 2 minutes of the video, and tell me everything you can about that aircraft. So that's the kind of prompt engineering that I've been doing for the last number of months, in addition to the AI stuff. So what have I learned about prompt engineering, about how to do it well? Well, what I've learned is that prompt engineering requires a lot of detail. You need to give the AI as much detail as you can about what you want from it. And that's where I got kind of hung up at first. And that's what was a bit of a turnoff for me early on. I was expecting the AI to be something where, the human could just give a very no brain question to the AI and then get a good response. No, it doesn't work like that. The human has to be very intelligent and healthy and strategic in how they interact with the AI. And you got to tell the AI exactly what the response should look like. So you need to tell it how many paragraphs in the reply, how many sentences per paragraph, maybe what formatting, and that sort of thing. So you need to tell the AI as much as possible, and then you'll get a quality response. You also need to tell the AI the context of the prompt you're giving it. So you want the AI to tell you something. You need to tell the AI, why do I want to know this? What about me makes me interested in this topic that I'm asking? Because then the AI it understands the context a bit better, and it can dig. Remember, it's taking into it LLM. If it knows the context, it can find the right constructs in the LLM to reply. So it needs to know the context of the reply, and that's expected in the reply, and that the person is bringing to it. Finally, you need to tell the AI who the intended audience is for the response. So getting back to the math prompt engineering audience, you wanted the reply to be something that would be understood by a senior undergraduate who is majoring in math. In other words, someone who's fairly good at math. I mean, they're an undergrad, they're majoring in math. You'd write the response one way. If it were something that were only intended for a grade school student doing their first word problem in arithmetic, you'd write the prompt or the response differently. So that would be my summary. Give as much detail as possible in any given prompt. Say what format you want the response to be in as much detail as possible. Give the context that you're coming from, and stay with the intended audience for the response is. So as human needs to up their game and be as intelligent as possible for themselves in dealing with AI. Thank you, and back to you.
Your light working now?
Thank you, David. We'll put a minute on the clock timer and give Betsy a chance to do her evaluation.